The message for today is suspension of disbelief. Right? So, first of all, forgive me. I forgot my earrings. They're in my purse, so I have to do all that when I get there. But I'm not gonna suspend this to do that. I'm going to just say, go right in and say that when you have your mind set on. It isn't even about your mind. When you've set a goal, and each and every one of us that are up and out and about, we've set a goal, whether we've actually written it down somewhere, or we just decided I'm going to finish this day, or I'm going to make it to work. And maybe the goal is just to get up and get out the door before you're late to work. You know, I don't want to be late. It's a goal. So, but there's also goals that you set when you enroll in school or you start a new job. You have a goal to achieve, to excel in that job. You have a goal to go further. So when you've done that, you actually have set in motion a course of actions that require you to continue to feed that goal. So the more you falter on it, the less likely it is for you to achieve the goal. If you say you want to get to work on time, but you keep hitting the snooze button, those two things conflict, right? You're not going to get to work on time if you keep hitting the snooze button. At the same time, we think about focus, and we put focus out there like it's this very hard to achieve thing. But focus is just reminding ourselves, reminding. So they talk about meditation is where you have your mind is not necessarily able to be still. The goal is not to be able to have a still mind and never have the challenge again. The goal is to keep being able to get that stillness back again. Same thing with prayer. We said we want to stay in prayer all the time. The goal is to keep reminding ourselves, okay, but prayer is my way. Okay, so there is a concept that was created in fiction and writing and video and everything called suspension of disbelief. And that means that whatever it is they want the audience to understand or know, they want you to suspend your critical thinking and your disbelief, as it were, of that subject matter or of that topic, of that storyline, so that you can enjoy it. So the example was like in a magic show. You don't actually need to believe that a woman was sawed in half in order to enjoy the show. So, and then there's something called cognitive estrangement that is used to further that suspension of disbelief. So they expect you to be able to cognitively kind of put on the side that critical thinking and all those critical things. So I used to have this thing like, don't just show anybody your ideas at their very earliest stage, because that's your baby, and you don't want anyone to tell you your baby is ugly. So we spend a lot of time thinking about, is this idea good enough? Is this thing that I want to do good enough? Does it meet the snuff? Is it up to snuff? But that's not really the point here. The point is that once you have set your mind to do something, you need to achieve this. See, there's no steps that will be skipped. No steps will be skipped. At the end of the day, you'll look back at your journey. You'll say, "Yep, I had each and every one of those transition points along the way." And so when people say, "Well, they did this fantastic feat and they jumped so high, and right out of high school they enrolled in Yale or whatever it is," no steps were skipped. They studied, or they stayed focused on their goal or whatever it was while they were in school to help them get there. And even if they got a leg up, let me tell you, no steps will be skipped. There will be a day where their knowledge has been brought to a chance where they need to prove what they know, and that's not for any of us to worry about. What it is to focus in on, what is it that I said I wanted to do? What is the goal that I say I want to achieve? And if there's a goal that I want to achieve, let me focus on it. Keep reminding myself of it. Be mindful of it. And even further, let me suspend my disbelief. Let me suspend that part of me that wants to critically think this thing while it's in progress. If you're in a relay race and you're off and running, do you think that runner is spending time worried about, I wonder if, should I have enrolled in this race or should I have done another race? There's a point at which you are committed beyond quitting. Think about an actor before they go on stage. There's a point at which they are committed to that role beyond quitting. If they look out and there's no one in the audience, there's 1 or 2 people in the audience, and they say the show's going to go on, that show's going to go on. So you are committed beyond deterrent. You are committed beyond discouragement, and you're committed beyond quitting. If you quit, a person that quits once they are in the middle of the act has to really ask themselves how committed they originally were, and we have ways of overcommitting ourselves before we have really thought and weighed out whether or not this is something we really want to do. But once you set that goal in mind, you've decided it's something that you want to do, you will reach a point of being committed beyond deterrent. And at that point, you will have suspended your disbelief, and you will have cognitive estrangement from those thoughts that would discourage you, and those thoughts that would turn you around, and those thoughts that would tell you this is not what you should be doing, or you could go higher, and this is more that you should do. And you do not recalculate in the turn. When you're navigating, when the GPS is taking you somewhere, it does better when you pull over and change the address. But when you're actually in the turn, think about a NASCAR racer. He's actually in his curve. He's not changing lanes at that same time. He's not thinking about what left and right turns at that time. He's in that curve. So be in that curve of your life. We shall be in the curve of our life in this day. We will hit those curves with the speed and the commitment that it takes to actually successfully make the turn. And as I've heard it best put, we will bloom where we are planted.